Your moon in the 8th house, sun in the 8th house, Pluto in the 1st house. Sun conjunct Pluto, moon conjunct Pluto, sun square Pluto, moon square Pluto, sun opposite Pluto, moon opposite Pluto. Pluto conjunct. The ascendant, 8th house stellium makes you an honorary Plutonian. You are not as Plutonian as a Scorpio sun or Scorpio moon would be. But you are damn close. I authored this piece in an attempt to better understand myself. I am a Cancer sun but always felt like a Scorpio. As a water sun sign, it would make sense that I would exhibit some shared traits that all water signs share. However, I never understood why I felt so Scorpionic. I found the answer once I began studying astrology. I discovered that I am an honorary Plutonian, aka honorary Scorpio, because I have a natal 8th house moon conjunct my vertex and Chiron, natal Pluto in the 1st house. Conjunct my ascendant, natal sun square Pluto, draconic Scorpio moon as well as Scorpio rising in the D9 Navamsa chart. I also discovered all of this during the year I had a progressed Scorpio moon and was consequently going through a dark night of the soul. My astrology is in constant conflict. I have an exalted Taurus moon in 3 degrees considered by astrologers to be in the best position. But it is debilitated in the 8th house. My 22-year-old fiancé was murdered while I was in college. I was 20. My husband died. I was widowed at the age of 42. Now I am afraid that any man I love beyond the point of a boyfriend will be taken away from me. I once read that my Taurus moon in the 8th house is the widowmaker. So my exalted moon is somehow a moon from hell, aka a Hades moon. So I went on a quest to find out what hellish karma I have been dealt. I've also realized that I cannot be in a non-Plutonic relationship. My fiancé was a Scorpio moon with a Mars consequently in a position often considered at risk of early demise in the 8th house. My husband had his moon in Libra in the 8th house conjunct Pluto in Libra as well as Juno in Scorpio. Both relationships were extremely intense and Scorpionic. My fiancé's sun was in my 8th house and my husband and my composite sun was in Scorpio plus my husband's. Venus was in my 8th house. Hence the intensity. And as if you couldn't get more intense, I recently dated a Scorpio sun who had Mercury, Venus, and Pluto all in Scorpio. All square my Venus in Leo. His Mars in Libra was also conjunct my Pluto in Libra. Intense doesn't even begin to define that relationship. It was romantic, lusty, spiritual, otherworldly and mystical. We had a composite sun in Pisces. We said I love you to each other after only 4 days of knowing one another. It was a karmic relationship and only lasted 6 months. But it cured every single last one of my insecurities. Mr. Scorpio sun told me that he had never before felt like that and asked me why what we had was so intense. I said I didn't know. But you better believe that every cell inside me was now also dying to find out the answer to this very fundamental question. My Mars in Virgo and Virgo rising immediately got the analytical side of me churning to figure out this very important question. At Love Synastry app, I found out that we had a karmic soulmate relationship that was meant to be short-term. I learned everything that I could about synastry to figure it all out. Yes, we are soulmates with a past soul tie. My North Node conjunct his South Node and vice versa. Also, of course, I am an honorary Plutonian, Scorpio. So it would only reason that I would love hard and intensely as any Scorpio would. And what Scorpio wouldn't want to be loved and have that emotional exchange in return? Your Plutonic placements, aka moon in the 8th house, sun in the 8th house, Pluto in the 1st house, sun conjunct Pluto, moon conjunct Pluto, sun square Pluto, moon square Pluto, sun opposite Pluto, moon opposite Pluto. Pluto conjunct the ascendant, 8th house stellium. Represents a deep, powerful, and extremely loyal emotional makeup. In addition, your feelings have an instinctual force and a depth of insight that is unrivaled. Life is lived on a soul level, and those with Plutonic placements despise superficiality. You are magnetic, intense and often a bit off-putting at the same time. You lurk in the shadows trying to understand others. It frequently denotes some level of involvement or interest in the occult, paranormal, mystical, parapsychological, and/or psychic phenomena. All your needs and feelings about yourself are kept very much to yourself. It is only in a very intimate situation, such as a sexual relationship, that you show your true emotions. Even then, you can be quite hard to reach. But this is owing to the fact that you are instinctively attuned to private feelings and subtle atmospheres. You are only too acutely aware of how closeness can be abused. Your emotional nature is very potent. In fact, it is so potent that it often seems to rule your entire being. Your emotions are unfiltered and highly sensitive, and as a result, you may experience periods of depression, outbursts of anger for no apparent reason. You have feelings of isolation and melancholy that you are unable to comprehend or make sense of. You seem tuned into the undercurrents, interested in occult, death, taboo, sex, etc. You have an overdeveloped survival instinct because you are influenced by all emotional inputs in an exceptionally powerful way. You often have trust issues, trauma, and psychological anguish, as well as a sense that something isn't quite right. You are aware to protect yourself. Something within the psyche is usually trying to heal emotional scars. These Plutonic placements never fully show themselves, and there will always be some portion of your character that is veiled. Furthermore, emotional grudges can be maintained for a long time, and an inability to let go of feelings can lead to emotional problems because you do not readily forget personal traumas. And you often carry them to the grave with you. Others may be disturbed by the depths of your love, jealousy and hatred because your feelings are burning and tormented. With loved ones, you may be emotionally demanding, possessive, or obsessive, resulting in unconscious provocations. These Plutonic placements yearn to be fully immersed and thoroughly involved in relationships, and there is a constant craving for close, intimate unions. When it gets serious, there will always be a sense of plunging into underworld territory, as well as a need for total commitment that requires a lot from partners. This content was written by astrologer Monica Jones. Please like and subscribe to Phenomenal Astrology.